Ladies and gentlemen, we're back. A couple of games today, cup games. One, pretty interesting. The other one, not so much. We'll review these and preview what's coming up tomorrow right after this. Hello and welcome back to Ball Logic. I'm your host this evening, The Horse, and joining me, a man who loves his Atlanta Hawks, but I don't think they've got much to do with the Cup Finals when we're talking NBA. It's Braino. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, good thing. I'm a little bit less good after that reminder that Atlanta have just been no good in the Emirates Cup. But
You're welcome.
yeah, you know what? They get a bit of a break. I'm gonna look at it as a positive, and they get a little bit of time off to refresh, and it gives Trey a little bit more time or less less basketball for these boys to play before Trey comes back. So I'll take it.
You're starting to sound like a Brooklyn Nets supporter with the less basketball being played, the better. But ladies and gentlemen, if you like the content, like, subscribe, bell, thumbs, hype, the whole lot. You know the drill. If you're listening to us on audio, 5-star review helps keep the lights on here at Ball Logic, but also gets us out into the ears of those that love a bit of banter along with their fantasy knowledge. Now, Braino, we're not here to mess around tonight. We're getting straight into what's happened today. And straight off the bat, it's the Phoenix Suns versus the OKC Thunder. And for those Phoenix Suns supporters out there, is this a true indication as to how far away from the top teams they are?
I'm not a Phoenix Suns supporter, but I can speak for them and say I don't know how they got this far.
Yeah.
But in saying that, they got walloped today. And I think this is probably more of a reflection of just how much better OKC are than a lot of other teams. Like that the gap between them and, a couple of the other teams at the top versus these kind of middle tier teams is just so large. And you see what they did here again. They don't have to play a fourth quarter. Their starters can have another break. The minutes are... And this is just a perfect scenario, really, for them, isn't it? They'd play for 3 quarters, sit their guys for the fourth, and they get a nice little rest before the next game when they come out and wallop the next team in 3 quarters.
It's unreal, Braino, that they're now 24-1. So one of the best records the best record in the league and one of the best records ever, 25 games into a season. But for the OKC Thunder to be resting their starters 4 minutes to go in the third quarter, it's just unheard of, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, we're talking about a team that could be breaking some records this year when it comes to, their end of year win percentage. So look, yep. I hope they can. They've been fantastic. They're definitely, obviously, the team to beat last year. They'll be the team to beat again this year, and they're showing us so far that they're bloody going to be hard to beat. So, as Phoenix unfortunately found out today, they were way off.
Yeah, not much to talk about from the Phoenix Suns' point of view. It is a down game, so if you've got Colin Gillespie, I'd still be inclined to hold on to him. 3 steals, 3 assists, 4 rebounds, only 2 points though. Dylan Brooks with a massive negative 47 in the plus-minus category. A couple of people off the bench that I will mention. Booyah! With 14 points, 6 assists, 1 steal, 1 block. I love that surname. Jordan Goodwin, though, 15 points, 50 from the field, 2 steals, 3 rebounds. They were probably as good as it gets for Phoenix. But I do want to ask you, though, because remember, this is without Hartenstein, their starting center. So you've got Chet Holmgren that has moved across into the 5 spot. Jalen Williams has come back. He only played 23 minutes today. And as we can see, if you're watching on audio, we've got a share screen going on YouTube. The most amount of minutes played today was by SGA, and that was 27 minutes. Everyone else got a fair share. If you don't have a share, for example, though, Braino, in Chet Holmgren, SGA, Jalen Williams, can you afford to, you can afford to stream, but is there anyone else that you think, they might be more than just a streamable option, or is it just those 3 and then the rest are for streaming purposes?
Yeah, look, I think it's the usage is so heavy through those top 3 guys, and Lou Dort and Cason Wallace are playing a defensive role for these guys. It's pretty much a 3-and-D type situation for Lou Dort. He's streamable if you're looking for threes and maybe the odd steal here or there, but for the most part, he's just going to be a little bit of a waiver wire guy. Cason Wallace is probably rostered. But again, we see the 4 steals there today. He's just a steals streamer these days. So,
yep.
And look, while Hartenstein's out, Jalen Williams, Timu Jalen Williams, might be, might be a decent option as a kind of out of position assist guy. He seems to be able to get some assists, some rebounds there, and he's got a cheeky steal. But look, nah, other than that, mate, it's all a bit of a lottery too, right? Like when you got them sitting their starters in the third quarter, that it's hard to pick who's going to get the minutes and who isn't if it goes deep into the game. So I'd probably just steer away from OKC unless it's a Caruso or a Case and Wallace for steals or Dort for threes.
It's absolutely unheard of that OKC used 13 players in today's game, all of which played double-digit minutes. And, fun fact, they equaled the record for most players hitting a three in this game ever, with 12 players hitting a three. Only Timu J-Dub not being able to hit a three. If he had hit a three, they would have set the all-time record. So 12 players for the OKC Thunder hit threes today, so they can all stretch the floor. They can all handle the rock. We see there on the screen only Deng, who was running the point at some stage, the only player without an assist too. So they've just got so many players that can play a variety of roles. And you're right, they are a dangerous team moving forward. We get into the San Antonio Spurs, who played the Los Angeles Lakers and beat them quite well. 132-119. We look at the San Antonio Spurs here, Braino. Wemby, he will be back, we believe, next game. So that's positive from Coach Johnson. But Harrison Barnes, 16 points, 4 threes, just being him. Cornette not doing much inside. De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and Dylan Harper, though, each taking a timeshare with point guard duties. How do you see this moving forward with Wemby's obviously going to take some of that usage away from them? Is there anyone in particular that's going to suffer, or is everyone going to suffer, or how do you see this playing out?
No, I don't think everyone's going to suffer, but I think the one person here that I would be cautious on moving forward with would be Devin Vassell. It just seems, I mean, look, Luke Cornett's the obvious one that suffers, right? Like that's just goes without saying. He'll drop back to the bench, but yeah, Devin Vassell just really hasn't been impressing me of late, and that he wasn't impressing me leading up to the Wemby injury, and he certainly hasn't really impressed me since he's been out. He's been okay. He's been serviceable. And when you've got a guy that should be getting a decent bump here without Wemby, and he's kind of not, and we're also seeing Dylan Harper really come into his own. I've been really impressed with him over the last couple of weeks since he's been back from injury. Like, there's just so much potential in the minutes that Dylan Harper can give you. I'm just looking at Devin Vassell and just thinking, is he going to get better? Is there going to come a time where this guy actually improves, or are we seeing what we're going to see for the next 5 to 10 years from Devin Vassell, and is it time for Dylan Harper? So yeah, they've got some decisions to make, I think, the Spurs. I'd say Vassell is the guy that I would be cautious on.
Yeah, 100%. As we see that for 7 players for the Spurs in double digits, 3 off the bench. Champagne showers, Julian Champagne with 16, 2 for 4 from 3, 7 boards, and filling out the old box score very nicely. Dylan Harper with 13 points, Keldon Johnson with 17, 8 rebounds, and you guessed it, fuck all else. But for the Los Angeles Lakers, it is Luka and Marcus Smart actually shot 8 for 14 today. I don't think I've ever seen him shoot the rock like that, Braino.
Yeah, he likes to shoot a three. They just don't usually go in. So This is a nice little change for him. 8 threes in a game is outrageous, really. When you're looking at Luka only took 8 threes in this whole game, which is also unheard of. So yeah, look, when they go in, they go in. You just got to shoot them when you're hot, and a few heat check shots there too that went in. So good on him.
Yep, bang on. LeBron James, 19 points, 15 rebounds, 8 assists, doing it all as Father Time doesn't really seem to be catching up with him at the moment. But
of course, did you see the poster that he put on Luke Cornett?
I did. Not bad for a 40-odd-year-old bloke.
Could have ended his career. I mean, it would have meant more if it wasn't on an accountant, but
yeah, that's right.
At the same time, still impressive. At LeBron's age, he just continues to just defy logic.
He does, but let me be controversial for a second here. I actually think that the Los Angeles Lakers are worse with the ball in his hands. The ball is more stagnant, and I think that with Luka and Austin Reeves, they've got that nice little 1-2 combo. And with LeBron, if things don't go his way, you see him just trotting back on defense and missing assignments. And like, the numbers look great, don't get me wrong. And for the guys that love stats out there, fucking awesome. But if you actually watch the game, I actually think he hinders more than what he helps.
Yeah, look, I mean, It's hard to say because I think LA in general weren't that great today.
Yep.
Luka, he had to play 41 minutes and just couldn't get him out of the trenches. 35 points for him on less than 50% shooting when you're taking 24 shots a game. That's just Luka.
Mhm.
But yeah, at the same time, it's just not what we know from LeBron. That's all. We've got to kind of maybe look at him as a different type of player with a different role. He's not going to be the LeBron from the 2020, 2021, however long it was.
That's right.
We are seeing a little bit of a regression, I think, now. But from a fantasy standpoint, he's been fantastic. And I think,
For sure.
aside from that one game where he only got 8 points, he still, ended up getting the assist to win the game. It's just a different LeBron now we need to have expectations for. That's all.
LeBron James. That's exactly
Mm.
who it is. We're going to look out to what's going on tomorrow, Braino. And quickly, 4 games. Friday, 3 start at 12 p.m. here in Australia, and 2 p.m. the late game. Clippers and Houston. When we're talking waiver wire targets, Braino, for me, there's not really anyone that I'd feel comfortable streaming from either of these sides.
Nah, it's pretty hard to, isn't it? I mean, Derek Jones Jr. is still out. Obviously, Chris Paul's disappeared. If you need a steal or two, Chris Dunn's probably the guy to get it done.
Yep.
Pardon the pun. But aside from that, everybody else is rostered, and there's not really anybody else that's going to be banging down the door to get decent minutes off the bench. They're running their starters into the ground, so to speak, with minutes. So yeah, definitely Chris Dunn or nobody, I'd say.
Yep. I agree. Steven Adams, maybe if you need a board or two as well for Houston, but that might be about it. Boston versus Milwaukee. We know that there's no Giannis. Probably going to be the KPJ and Ryan Rollins show up front. Gary Trent Jr. maybe for some threes and some steals, but again, I don't really like too many people there. But for Boston, I think we've got to start taking Jordan Walsh seriously, don't we?
hmm He's been good, hasn't he? He
Mm.
seems to be their lockdown guy. Like Derek White's a good defender, but at the same time, it looks like they just need someone who can switch and who can kind of guard 1 through 4. And Jordan Walsh seems to be that guy. He's done a really good job on a number of good guards this year over the last month or so. So I'd say they just need him. Especially with how heavy the usage is through Jaylen Brown and Derek White. Like they just need a little bit of a breather, and Jordan Walsh gives them that on the defensive end. So I think that's his spot to lose now.
For sure. Portland versus New Orleans. We know that Jordan Poole is questionable now, may come back tomorrow, might not. Wait for any updates in the morning. But from either of these teams, is there anyone that you'd be happy to stream in?
Well, I mean, the big man stocks. We'll talk about Pelicans first. Yeah, look, I don't think there's anyone in the Pels for me that I would like, but for Portland, there's a bit going on here because there's no Donovan Clingan tomorrow, so there's going to be some opportunities for potentially Robert Williams if the Time Lord can finally get out of his time capsule and play some basketball for us. He's questionable
Mm-hmm.
tomorrow, as is Young Han Sen. So it's a very, very close watch on who gets the start here and whether Robert Williams is healthy. If he is ready to go for this game, he's a great pickup, I think. So and obviously if Williams is out, Young Han Sen gets his first kind of decent opportunity in the NBA. So it'll be interesting to see with no Klingon, no Williams, how he goes at the 5 too. So it looks like there'll be some minutes on offer regardless with Donovan Klingon out. Let's see who takes him.
Drop Rieth, Aussie legend.
Yeah.
Hopefully he gets a few threes and some court time. Last game, though, Denver versus Sacramento, and this could very well be an absolute shit show. Denver, it's Jokic, it's Murray, and it's the pieces around Jokic that make this team as good as what it is. They've got no Gordon, they've got no Braun, but they're still on a 10-game road winning streak. They're coming up against Sacramento, Braino, who I like Rayno, the young center who's come off the bench and he's been getting some time lately, and Nate Clifford. They've got a couple of nice pieces, but whoever put this team together must be shit at Lego or puzzles because none of this makes sense at all.
Yeah, hasn't spent much time on Tetris.
No.
Yeah, that's for sure. But it's or they did play Tetris and they were never any good at it. I'd say that's probably more accurate. They just kind of rage quit when they don't line up the blocks
Bang
from
on.
the first couple of rows. But yeah, look, there's just nothing to be excited about here. The Kings are a mess. Raynaud's been good, so I think you can stream him. Dennis Schroeder's doubtful for this game as well. So look, it's going to be pretty thin at guard there as well, with no Schroeder, no Levine in this one. So Malik Monk, if for some reason he's out there, you can grab him. Keon Ellis might get a bit of extra burn here, and he'll get you some steals and threes as well. So yeah, they're probably the guys there. But again, I don't really have much faith in the Sacramento Kings. I'll probably look at maybe like a Spencer Jones or something for the Nuggets if he's floating around on your wire. But yeah, that's pretty much where it ends.
No Bruce Brown. He did his best PJ Tucker impersonation last game.
Do you remember? I think it was a couple of nights ago after we recorded another show, and I said, I'm going to pick up Bruce Brown. Like, this was off air. I'm going to pick up Bruce Brown. He fits my punt perfectly. I don't need threes in that league or anything like that. And he proceeded to go none from two and go zeros across the board in 21 minutes. So yeah, it was Tony Snell, best Tony Snell impersonation I've ever seen. So probably one of the worst waiver wire pickups of the year for me.
Yeah, shit ass. But
so watch him pop off
sometimes.
Watch him pop off tomorrow.
No doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do us here at Ball Logic. Thank you for joining us again. Thumbs up. Give us all the good stuff. If you listen to us on audio, 5-star review helps us and helps the show out immensely. But for tonight, I'm the horse. This is Braino. We'll catch you again tomorrow night. Peace.